means that the pastor will come back. The SPR says, yes, we like them, no, run them out on the rail, or, whatever. And the same thing for the pastor. Yes, I'd like to come back. No, no way, not ever, get me out of here fast. Or, either. I can come, I can stay, I can come, whatever. Well, I've been serving at Asbury for 10 years, and last January we had an SPR meeting again. I went into that SPR, that was the best SPR meeting I've ever been in. We really talked about some important things. They affirmed my ministry. It was a straight talk, you know, not saying nice things to say nice things, but a very affirming, real conversation with people who love each other. And it was late, it was an SPR meeting after hours, late in the evening, and I went back to my desk and there was the document I had to fill out. And I picked up my pen and I started to do what I'd done every year. I started to just check, come back. I had plenty more to do. People who loved me. And several projects that I wanted to finish, several things I wanted to start. And I couldn't check it. I couldn't check stay. And I had to go to the third option. And I checked either. I can stay. But what if? What if? Well, I made an appointment with the bishop. Later on, a couple months later, I just wanted to see. I wanted to explain where my heart was, what I was thinking. And we had a wonderful conversation. Again, he affirmed my ministry. And he's just a very kind and generous and pastoral man. And we kind of talked through, and I kind of talked about, you know, what church opportunities would there be? What do you see me? And he asked me, well, what do you love to do about in ministry? And what's your passion? And this wonderful conversation. At the end, he said, you know, Ann, I think you have some real gifts, and I want to find just the right place for you. But knowing what's on the horizon, this was in March, knowing what's on the horizon, I just don't see you making a move. I think you're doing what you need to do, and you just need to stay there. So don't expect a phone call. And I was headed for the door. And I said, Bishop, you know, I really wouldn't mind taking a high-risk situation. Go figure. From the least of these. And I still believe, I believed then when I got the phone call in April, I truly believe it was God saying, Ann, come help me do something wonderful. Come help me do something wonderful. There's so much that can be done. And you know, I tell people about coming to Northwood and our challenges, and yeah, we got a slab and we got beams. That's what we got. And they look at me, with this really fun, and they'd say, well, did the church burn down? How long were you there before the church burned down? I said, it was already burned, and then I went in June. And they look at me, and then I'd say, did I scrub stupid off my floor? I need to probably work on that. But I still believe, after all the work we've done, and you know, all the work we've done, and we don't have those beams down yet, but we're getting there. Trust me, we're getting there. That God is saying to us, come do something wonderful. Help me do something wonderful with the least of these. The least, you know, the resources, the least of these. But I believe in God's power, it'll be enough. It'll be more than enough. You guys love to do plays. I love that we did our dinner theater, and this room is filled with fellowship and people and food and costumes and people running around in pink wigs. I have a picture of you, Bubba, in a pink wig. I have blackmail material. Don't just... I have one too, so it's okay. And you guys love being someone else. And it was a great, great evening. I want to tell you a story about another church, just like you. And they wanted to do a dinner theater for Christmas, and they chose to do A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And of course, Scrooge They had to pick the right person in the congregation to play Scrooge, and you know who they picked? The finance chair. Right, Jesse? So they were the congregation was a little concerned that this person wouldn't, because they were tight, and they wouldn't get into the fun of it. But the finance chair, he was just over the top with Scrooge. He was the original bah humbug, and the whole congregation could see him change with each of the visitors in the night. So the congregation, as they sat at their little tables and their dinner theater, they'd have their lovely evening, they were so ready when at the end of the play, he is transformed from the Scrooge into the spirit of Christmas, and he flings the shutters open and he yells, "Merry Christmas!" And he turns to the little boy in the play and he says, You boy, come help me do something wonderful." And instead of the acting child, a 6-year-old child sitting in the front with his parents at his table, walks onto the stage because he believes in the possibility of doing something wonderful. Well, now, what is old Scrooge? This is not a scripted moment. He comes down out of his window and he says, "Yes, you're exactly the one I wanted, and we're going to do something wonderful a little later," and escorts him back to us. But what about the possibility that a play that tells us, wouldn't you like to do something wonderful? Wouldn't you like to help me do something wonderful? And to think that the next year, 2010, I believe this could be the most significant year in the life of this church since this church moved to the corner property. That was a really significant year. It was a great move to move to that corner. And this year, I believe God is saying to us, all of us, just the least of these, the least of us, is saying, "Come help me do something." Let us pray. Oh Lord, would you choose us? Would you favor us to be a part of your will and let us do something wonderful? Choose us, Lord, and then give us the courage